Public Meetings Act. Notice that this meeting has been provided by advertisement in the Cape May Star and Wave on the Township website and has been posted on the bulletin board of Township Hall.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Conrad. Here. Councilmember Neville.
Here.
Councilmember Henderson. Here. Deputy Mayor Clark.
Here.
Mayor Becker.
Here. Before we move down to the work session, we have a proclamation on Put the Brakes on Fatalities Day. October 10th, 2013 has been declared Put the Brakes on Fatalities Day by the Township of Lower. Whereas across the nation, traffic crashes caused approximately 34,000 fatalities in 2012 and are the leading cause of death for young people ages 15 to 34. New Jersey, 589 individuals lost their lives in traffic crashes in 2012. Alcohol-related crashes account for 27% of the state's traffic fatalities. Motorcyclists, bicycle riders, pedestrians face increased risks on New Jersey's roadways. 70 motorcyclists, 14 bicyclists, and 163 pedestrians were killed in New Jersey in traffic-related crashes in 2012. Whereas safer driving behaviors such as buckling up every ride, obeying posted speed limits, stopping for pedestrians in crosswalks, and using crosswalks when walking, avoiding aggressive driving behaviors, never driving impaired, wearing proper safety gear when riding a motorcycle or bicycle, and focusing solely on driving by avoiding distractions can dramatically reduce the number of traffic-related injuries and death. Therefore, we do proclaim October 10th, Put the Brakes on Fatalities Day. Okay. Thank you. Now we'll move down to the work session, and the Deputy Mayor has a few kind words on the discussion of tax abatements.
Thank you, Mayor. As everyone probably knows, we've had an Economic Advisory Committee meeting over the last 6 months, leading members of our civic, education, and business community. And they've been looking for ideas that would bring jobs to the area for our children and grandchildren and opportunities to develop our economy. One of the ideas that came up, it's been coming up before, and that is that we need to look at opportunities at the airport. We have a lot of unused space there. There's a lot of opportunity there, and it's in our township. And so we want to advance one of the ideas that has come out of the Economic Advisory Committee, and that is to look at tax abatements for businesses in the airport. Now, these would not be tax abatements for just coming in to the building as it is. It would be tax abatements for businesses that come in there and make great improvements and bring jobs to the businesses. An example of the kind of thing we're looking for would be the Cape May Brewery, which has started off, making beer in plastic buckets and has now invested a great deal of money to develop a real brewery there. And it's gone from a few people getting jobs to a bunch of people getting jobs. So we want to foster and encourage that kind of activity at the airport, but we want to do it right. So what I've asked that we circulate to council as we begin to consider this is a look at how tax abatements have been handled across the state of New Jersey and in fact across the country. The comptroller of the state of New Jersey has seen fit to give us a list of best practices when it comes to tax abatements. 43 states in our union provide tax abatements and allow municipalities to look for ways to foster and encourage economic activity in their townships through tax abatements, but you need to do them correctly, you need to do them intelligently. So step one is we want to review this as a council, understand the pitfalls and understand the best ways to do it. We want to sit down with our tax assessor, we want to sit down with our treasurer, and we want to sit down with all the appropriate authorities, the CRDA, the county, as well as the other stakeholders in the arena. And just advance this as appropriately as possible. Thank you.
Everybody on board? So we'll begin our homework, and at a future meeting, we'll put it on for discussion at the work session, and like you said, move deliberately and see what we can do over there. Okay, thank you for your efforts. I move down to the consent agenda. Council comments or questions on the consent agenda? Okay. Open up the public comment on the consent agenda only.
Hi, Janet Pitts from the Villas. I would like more information about 271, the memorandum of agreement between the County of Cape May, Delaware River Board Authority, and the Township of Lower. It says all property occupied by tenants shall pay taxes to Lower Township. Well, I'm trying to figure this out. DRBA is the management company. The county is the landlord. Okay. So now we're going to have the tenant pay us directly, not the landlord. I mean, this just, I've never heard of anything like this.
Well, it's a unique situation all the way around, in the sense that you do have government paying government taxes.
Well, because they're making money. They're the leasee. They're renting the buildings. So, you know, and it's not a non-profit like the Naval Air Station. But I have a lot of concerns with this because, number one, with the county paying the taxes, every municipality in Cape May County is contributing. With us collecting the taxes and possibly, well, we've also inhibited our ability to, we can't put a lien against the property where they are because they're not the owner, they're only the tenant.
And that was part of the reasoning. We're jumping from part to part. If you allow myself or the solicitor to answer each of these, we can do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Basically what's going on is in the past, they would notify us on January 1 that they had a tenant, and then we would impose the taxes. Absent a tenant, it is government taxing government, which is inappropriate. We simply entered into an agreement where the tenants are going to pay us directly, and they have agreed that when someone comes midstream, not January 1, but if they come after that time, they notify us immediately, and they would become taxable property at that time. Whenever it's vacant, the taxes would be owed because it would be the government's responsibility. But whenever there's a tenant there, that tenant will be responsible for us for the taxes. As far as the ability to lien, well, they have agreed that in any new leases, the tenant will agree that they will assign to us the right to sue them directly for taxes if we have to.
Do you think suing them directly, given the cost of litigation, would equal the back taxes?
Well, that's why we're in this MOU right now. And, you know, not for anything. We probably spent more on litigation over the years than we have on the taxes that were owed us. That's a key.
No question about that.
See, this is my fear, that we're going to eat these taxes. I have to make...
It's not a huge amount of money.
It says 50.
Thousands, a couple $1,000s.
Okay, well, they owed us 50,000.
And we have that.
Okay.
And the most important thing here, though, Janet, is that there's a 4-year sunset on this thing.
Okay.
If this doesn't work out, in 4 years, we would start over again.
Okay, because I've read something that says, like, forever.
No, that has to do with the prior, the $6,000 we're talking about.
Okay.
That we can never go back and get that. But, you see, this was an impediment between us, the DRBA, and the county, and it's been kind of like legal badminton for 8-9 years that we've been trying to get this thing off the table. And the reason why we're moving forward now, and the deputy mayor talked about it, is that you do have economic development finally starting to occur at the airport. So everybody's going to ante up over there. If the DRBA is putting the money they are over there, which is significant, we're going to do some things such as the tax abatement, and also to make it easier to rent these buildings, which is to kind of, smooth out these leases and the taxes and all those kinds of issues. The bottom line, if there's a tenant in there, in one of the buildings, they pay the taxes. We get the money. If there's no tenant, we don't need for us to pay taxes to the county, for the county then to pay taxes, or for us to pay a county tax so that the county can pay us for the building.
Well, I always considered that an incentive for them to get another renter.
Well, I think the incentive we have now is total cooperation among the three entities, and council sees this. I think council knew it was time to get this thing out of the way.
Okay.
And again, listen, there's times when government signs away something forever, and one of them, quite frankly, was that water allocation deal going back 20 years ago that we paid the penalty for. And it's a lesson learned. I'm saying that we finally got a new allocation this year, but look at the hoops we had to dance through. If this thing doesn't work, okay, 4 years from now, we just rip it up and say we don't want to renew, and we go back to where we are. But for the first time, the cooperation between Lower Township and the DRBA and the county is such that you have them investing money over there, us looking for ways to help them, and you actually have job creation taking place over there. They put the FBO over there, the fixed base operator. You have, again, like Nora said, a little concern. It started with a part-time worker 18 months ago. And the township had a piece of that. We recrafted our economic development loan to help them get started. They got 10 full-paying jobs over there now, with people getting health benefits on those jobs. That's a big deal for those 10 families. And we're trying to say that the council sees this, and to their credit, they want to ante up at the table. It's a couple $1,000s. It smooths out a situation that has existed between us and the DRBA for a long time, and we're okay with it.
4 years, that's good. It's
Okay.
good that you relooked.
I
saw forever and...
No, that was for the 6,000 that was on the table that they say they didn't know. We said they did know. They paid 49.
Right. It was
the last piece of the pie. It was like, look, let's just move forward.
Okay, good enough.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Well, there's some of those. Just to pick up on that. So right now, what you're saying is that it's just about a done deal, except for tonight passing this
Yes.
thing. So that Delaware Bridge Authority is on board.
Yes.
You got the county on board.
Yep.
You have all that set.
They've already
So
executed.
tonight, if we approve this,
It's done.
it's done.
Right.
Okay, I just want to clarify to make sure this is the way it is. Not we're going to do it here, you're going to do it here, and you have nobody on board.
No,
Okay?
both of the county and the DRB have already executed the documents.
Okay.
We're the last one to do it.
Okay, very good. Just
It
to
becomes
make
law,
sure.
we do it.
You just don't want to get hung up along the line, with that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other questions on the consent agenda? Okay. Close. Oh, there's the gentleman in the back. I think I can see him from where I'm at. I think I didn't see. He draws forward. I state your name.
Glenn Douglas, Northgate, Maine. Regarding the resolution 2013-272, the fire protection water system improvements.
Yes. Yes.
Prior to my resignation, I met with the groups over there regarding this. It's a dire need for the Diamond Beach area to have an additional water tower put in that area. They were directed to go to Bill Galestock, our planning zoning, information regarding what is needed for over there. The process over there with the water tank is to give more pressure for fire suppression. The fire companies have also noted that they have low pressure whenever they got to draw from hydrant. So I've met with several homeowners, property owners over there, and it also will allow a looping system for the water to run through the streets and not be dead-ended, and that would be a plus for us also in the township. But I just wanted an update on that part, that they're moving forward to try to construct this water tower over in that area, and it would be a great help for Lower County.
I think it was Wildwood Water Utility. And I remember going back when the Grand was being constructed, that there was concern with water pressure, and it was an issue that came up. And I think you're correct that this is certainly an improvement in the firefighting and the safety of the residents over there.
And they have followed the direction to go to our planning, zoning, and
Yes.
we're working all
Go
through.
through the system. Thank you. Is there any other questions or comments in relationship to the consent agenda? Okay, close the public portion.
Approval of minutes, September 16, 2013. Resolution 2013-261 through Resolution 2013-272. Ordinance number 2013-21, an ordinance amending Chapter 475 of the Parks and Recreation Areas ordinance of the Township of Lower. This ordinance sets forth the rules and regulations and rental fees for the Lower Township Millman Community Center. This is the first reading. The second reading and public hearing will be held on August 21st. Ordinance 2013-22, an ordinance revising and restating Chapter 600 of the Revised General Ordinances of the Township of Lower. This is setting forth the rules and regulations of the Township Rotary Towing and Storage. This is also the first reading. Second reading and public hearing is scheduled for October 21st. And ordinance number 2013-23, an ordinance amending Chapter 400 of the Land Development Ordinance of the Township of Lower. And this ordinance adopts the New Jersey State Public Law to allow certain structures to be raised as high as the highest applicable flood elevation standard. This is also the first reading. Second reading and public hearing are scheduled for October 21st.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
A second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Neville?
Yes.
Councilmember Henderson?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes.
Regular agenda?
Yep.
Resolution number 2013-273, the certification of the best practice inventory. This is required yearly by the state to receive our state aid.
Okay, guys. We have to sign off that we read this all over. I think I've met with some people today on it. And do you have any comments or questions on this? You okay with it? Lauren does a heck of a job on this every year.
Wonderful job.
And actually, the punishment for not doing checklists properly can be a loss of state aid. I think in the back it tells you, but we've never had that situation arise. She would be doing cartwheels on top of us if that ever happened. We'd be in trouble plenty inside town hall. But they do have how many is there? 46? 50 total, and you get so many points for each one, and you have to reach a certain level. And the level is
46.
46 out of, who said that?
I do.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Henderson.
Councilwoman Henderson. Welcome too, by the way. And at 40, question says 40, we got 46. 41 to 50, there's no penalty. But you could lose like 5% of your state aid if you had like none of them or something, which I can't imagine. But anyway, there's 50 different items on there, and council comments, nothing? You're okay with it?
Good.
There are.
Looking forward to the classes.
That's right. We have
Municipality.
to go to school. We have to go to require elected officials to attend an annual one instructional courses. I've selected cooking. And some of the council took ballroom dancing, I understand. But now that's up at the League of Municipalities, and we all go. And it's always been that way. Council does go. But we are doing that. Okay, we'll open up the public comment on this. No public comment? All right, close the public portion. Motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
There you go.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Neville?
Yes.
Councilmember Henderson?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes.
Ordinance number 2013-19, an ordinance amending Chapter 441 entitled Noise of the Revised General Ordinances of the Township of Lower. This ordinance prohibits loading and unloading between the hours of 10 p.m. and 8 a.m. 7 days a week. This is the second reading and the public hearing. Copies of this ordinance were made available to the public.
Any council comments on this?
This comes about from a couple meetings ago. The Wawa is trying to be a good neighbor and is willing to accept whatever prohibited activities to make the neighborhood feel better. It's neighborhood working together. Mayor, Manager Bull, thank you for working that out.
Thank you. Okay. Anybody else on council? Open up the public comment on this. Close the public portion. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Neville?
Yes.
Councilmember Henderson?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes.
Ordinance number 2013-20. An ordinance amending ordinance number 2012-1, which is an ordinance amending Chapter 3, the Administration of Government of the Code of the Township of Lower. This ordinance requires elected officials to attend one instructional course per year. This is the second reading and the public hearing, and copies of this ordinance were posted and made available to the public.
Any council comments?
Actually, it's not just continuing education. If you read this website, going to the JIF meeting, which also gives us a cost of a premium, counts towards this.
There you go.
And we had 5 attendees last year to help cut our insurance premium.
Good job. Any other comments? Open up the public comment. Close the public portion. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Neville?
Yes.
Councilmember Henderson?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes. Okay, we move down to, there's no administrative reports in here, so we have council comments. Thomas.
I am going to pass at this moment.
Okay.
I'm good.
I just wanted to say hello to everybody. I want to thank council for appointing me to this position. I'm here for, I guess, a hat trick, a number of meetings until after the general election. I've learned a lot so far. Hit the ground running. I've been to FEMA meeting, had an opportunity to go to Haven House. It was their 5-year anniversary. And I want to thank Curtis Johnson and the staff there and also the residents. We had a wonderful lunch, got a chance to talk with people, was able to talk with them about the school question coming up in the general election and clarifying some points there. And I'm learning a lot in this short period of time, and I'm humbled to be up here, and I look forward to serving not only the members, the voters of Ward 3, but all of Lower Township. And I just wanted to remind people that, of course, the special election for the U.S. Senate for New Jersey will be Wednesday, October 16th. It won't be a Tuesday election, it will be a Wednesday. But in the general election, the last day to register to vote will be October 15th. And any other politics aside, we in council would love to have every voter of Lower Township vote no for the school question to keep Cape May in the school district. So if you have friends, family, or loved ones that aren't registered to vote, October 15th is the last day to do so for the general election on November 5th. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll pass, Mayor.
Okay. And I've seen you everywhere I go, Jackie. I have to say, the variety of ceremonies that I've been to, you show up. I think that that's good.
I'm a sponge.
I was going to say we get free meals here, but that's certainly not why you're there.
The fried chicken was
You have been here long enough for me to joke around with this, so I'll give you a pass on that. We have a lot going on in the township. We had the drug symposium, substance abuse symposium here. I guess it was 2 Mondays ago, and I think all of council was thrilled that we had a pretty packed house. It was also very emotional. It continues to plague our township. I mean, some things I can't tell you about, I mean, the investigations, the numbers, et cetera, but it is an ever-present problem, and we need to continue to work to try and combat that. That being said, we move forward to where our rec department, and I'm specifically mentioning Mitch Plen, Jim Ridgway, over at the school. These guys went out when they were challenged earlier on this year. They went out and raised money to bring a guest speaker and a motivational speaker that Manager Ball and myself went over and he was outstanding. That was very emotional. And, I don't know that there's any endeavor that could be more important than trying to keep our kids safe and off of this scourge that's taken place here. And hopefully some of them, even if a few of them got the message, then it was well worth it. But it was our rec department that deserves the kudos, and certainly Superintendent Chris Kobick was in the middle of that also. So we have a good working relationship on this with the schools, and we intend to enhance that at every opportunity because it's something that's just so extremely important. And while I'm on it, I think just to give a shout, Christine Gabor, Freeholder, has another meeting up at the county, and I guess that's October 10th. I'm not sure. What day of the week is that? Yeah, I got it. Oh, it's Thursday. Oh, you have it written right there. Sorry, pal. Giving a Voice to Addiction, which is up at the county administration building. I went to the one we had here. What I was really happy with was that there was, when we had 150 people or so here, there was a lot of men here and a lot of fathers. And that's they got to take control. It seems like the ladies, the women, the mothers, they have it. They get it. But what's more important, than protecting your kids? Certainly not Monday Night Football or anything else that could draw you away from being down here to find out some things that are going on in this town. Okay, we met with FEMA, and Jackie was there, and it was kind of somewhat of an enlightening meeting. We doth protest. We feel that the V zones are certainly uncalled for. We're hoping that they see the same, but we're not going to be their middlemen. They're coming down here on October 18th. Let the word go far and wide. If you're along the bayfront, if you've been put into one of the zones, you need to be here. You need to find out why. If we can convince them in a pleasant way that we need to adjust this, that's fantastic. If not, I think we'll have to go to Plan B, which is that we're going to have to spend money, just like we've had to spend money to fight the school referendum. Now we may have to spend money to fight the V zones along the bay. It's another issue that's just too important to let it go by. It has to do with the ability to sell a house in this town. So we have to fight that.
And I think from what they said, the FEMA people, they're willing to listen, but it's not just the B zones, because this could affect all the flood insurance in the township.
Yes, there's a lot going on there, and if you want to go online, I think it's FEMA.gov, and you'll be able to work your way, link your way to actually checking to see what your house, the situation you're in. Okay, so we've got that. Again, that's Friday, October 18th at 4 p.m. Then we have Saturday, October 19th is the Pumpkin Festival at Cold Spring Village, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. The Halloween parade starts at 11. Pumpkin carving contest. Say that 3 times. And scarecrow contest. Pick up the official rules and regs in the back of the room. They have them here, do they? All right. Okay, so Saturday, October 26th is the Haunted Trails, 7 to 9 p.m. at the airport grounds. Okay, that's the 26th, Haunted Trails at the airport. Wrestling registrations now through October 20th at the rec center. Basketball registrations October 19th through November 3rd at the rec center. Okay, and Lower Township is on Facebook. That's our commercial. Jack Victor wants you to go in there and press like. I don't know what that does, so I'm not a Facebook comment. Okay, so that is, okay, yeah, here's the information on the, just putting a face on addiction. And that's, again, I think that's important. It's a huge topic, and I really think that people should become aware. If you've got children any age, you really need to look at this. They're going to have 25 people sign up to speak during this session, and it's about, they're looking for people suffering from addiction What barriers did you face to getting treatment? What should be included in treatment? And what would you like to see in recovery? So I hope to attend. Okay, thank you. Go. What's this?
I'm sorry. Eileen, for the wonderful job she did at running up the phone again.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, that one has to be
Yeah,
recognized.
I stand corrected, yeah. That is, yeah, I mean, you know, it's a tough event to go to, which makes it probably the most important of events to go to, because it has the Gold Star mothers there, and we go every year, but Eileen is the coordinator for like South Jersey for this event, and she does all this basically on her own, and I don't know what else to say about it except that when you go there and you see what some people, their families have sacrificed, and what it has cost them, that family, for us to have our freedom. I wish I had the power to pass a proclamation that we all have to line on Seashore Road when they come by, because they have given an awful lot, these people, and it's a shame, you know, that I think in some ways that we're not all out there, but that being said, that's where I'm at. Okay, we open it up for public comment. Keep your comments short. If you have something to say, feel free to come up. Yes, sir.
Thanks for calling me first. My name is Tom Frizzoli. I live in the Villas. I am a board member on the Lower Township MUA. It's nice to see you up there, Mama Councilwoman. You look very nice.
Why, thank you.
I want to thank our manager, Mike Cole, and our solicitor, Chuck Sandman. As you all are aware, we've had problems down there. You all have received a tape pertaining to it. I realize we can't discuss this with council.
I think our solicitor would like to have something to say here.
Tom, I've taken a look at what material, there's different materials circulating from different sources. We've come into possession of it in a very short period of time. We don't, at this point in time, we don't have the ability to assess it as a whole. Right now, I'd have to advise the council until we have the appropriate information in order to address any comments. We're not even in a position to discuss it. At some later point in time, when we've had the adequate information and we've had the ability to assess it for what it is, that probably will change. But we do know that although the prosecutor has neither admitted nor denied it, apparently there is an investigation going on by the county prosecutor's office. And as such, we can't take any action because that's ongoing. If they have some findings that they come from this investigation that would call for us to take some action, we would have to assess it at that time. But we can't do anything while it's pending as far as any criminal matter is concerned. And we're also aware that there are allegations of a civil nature. That there may or may not result in some litigation. We don't have we're not in a position to comment on that either. Now, there is a commission there that should be dealing with this in-house, and we're all in hope that, you know, they deal with it, and they deal with it quickly. But at this point in time, I have to advise the board not to comment on any of the issues. I know everybody out here has a great interest in getting the board's input on this, but we're just not in a position to give it right now.
Thank you.
And I agree with that 100%, and that's why I'm here, because I realize the employees are not aware of what is happening. I realize that you appoint members of the board for the MUA, but we are our own private entity, and therefore we have to resolve things amongst ourselves. And that's why we have 5 commissioners who have to deal with it. And I guess the biggest concern I have at this time, the commissioners are not together on anything. And my concern is the safety of the...
Okay, Tom, I appreciate what you're saying. When
I
you don't
hope
come
you
as,
do.
I do, but when you don't come as a plurality, you don't represent the board.
No, I'm not saying I am.
And as such, I think that, you know, we need to follow the solicitor's advice. Any discussion of this will not be held tonight. We're not going to discuss this issue whatsoever. I appreciate it. Does anybody have any comments on any other issues? On other issues only? Yes, sir. That this gentleman's coming up first.
I knew I wasn't sorry.
Yeah, well, I can't see you behind the lady in front of you, so I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hi, Bill Bransfield. Bill.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I'd like to talk to FEMA about the houses that went into a V zone, but did you talk to them about the houses that were in
Yes, we did.
flood zones?
Yeah, and they'll be here on the 18th, and they'll be
You
ready.
probably have a lot more houses that were in non-flood zones.
Right.
That went into flood zones than you have
Right.
houses that went into V zones.
Right. We have that. It's not,
You did
this is the
talk
whole
about
thing.
that?
We talked about the whole thing.
So I keep hearing about houses that went into V zones.
Okay.
Weren't before.
That's
but-
my mistake. The entire
Okay,
mapping system.
That was discussed with them?
Yes, it was.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am?
Good evening. My name is Peg Lipset.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
president of North MA Seniors.
Yes.
And my main concern is, when is the Millman Center going to open? Okay, because the seniors are, we're here and there, we're all over the
Right.
place, we find them. And also, the facilities for storage. Now, I've called a couple of people, and they never gotten back to me on anything. So I just want to know, what's the status of it?
The plan right now is they're just finishing up the fire suppression and a few other odds and ends. To answer your question, probably the second week of November, Jim Ridgway from the rec department is putting the opening plans together. And as far as the storage facility, I know they're supposed to be working on that, but I'll double check with them in the morning, making sure that they are providing that.
I mean, because we have 160 people.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
We really need the storage facilities. And I mean, different senior citizens club depend on these meetings each month because that's a way to get out to meet the different people.
We're there to work with you, and Eileen, tomorrow morning, if you could let Mitch and Jim know we have to get that storage stuff squared away. They were instructed to do that. It'll be done.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else have a comment on anything other than the MUA situation? Okay, then I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
We would like to comment, but we understand that.
We're not here to discuss it in any way, shape, or form, this anything. Our solicitor has made that plain.
Mayor, I understand that you don't.
Chuck, would
I
you
hear
please
that you-
inform them?
We're not in a position to move ahead with this right now.
We understand, and we appreciate that.
Okay, thank you.
We understand that we're at a public forum, and we're here to publicly
We're
comment.
not
You don't
here
need
to discuss it, nor to have it discussed at this meeting.
But what we would like to do is, we would like to have a voice.
It's not, we're not going to hold this here.
This is a public forum, and we are not asking
Chuck?
for your feedback, but we are asking that these gentlemen have a voice to be heard, because as we understand it, the New Jersey statutes require each and every one of you, respected council members and mayor, to take action when you're aware that there are issues
Okay,
and
but we're
problems.
not
with it
adequately advised of those issues, and that's why we can't discuss it.
We understand
When,
that.
when we have the opportunity to be well versed in the facts of the matter, then we can discuss it. We're not trying to kill your voice in this matter. We're not trying to stop you from being heard.
Great.
But you can come here and the only thing you can do is give us your position from your perspective.
Yes.
And we don't have anything, other information, and we're not in a position to hear it right now. There will be a later point in time where we will be in a position to hear that, and your voice will be heard at that time.
Why wouldn't you be in a position to hear? To hear, just to listen and not comment. It's a public forum, and the law permits. We as
You have one side represented, and we have said that we have an investigation going on, and we're not going to sit
You
here
have
and
an
talk.
investigation ongoing, is that on the record?
But wait a minute.
We don't have
What the mayor
an
just said is very
potential one at the
important.
county.
You got one side here.
Right,
Okay.
and there is side that want to be heard.
But
Then
there's
you can then take that back and process it and listen to it. And at any other point in time, if you choose, and if you choose to avoid civil litigation, you'll get another side. And then somewhere in between, perhaps there's a
I think proper due
resolution.
process calls for notice to the other side and an opportunity for them to be heard at the same time.
And they had notice. They had notice that we were all going to be.
You didn't have notice from us that we were going to hear it.
I don't need notice from you to hear it. This is a public forum in which members of the public.
reelected here.
Now, excuse me. Excuse me, we're not going to discuss it here tonight. We've said that in the beginning. And we're not going to turn this through. We're not going to listen to it. We're not going to discuss it.
Not going to listen to the comments of the general public
This is exactly
regarding
fine.
their jobs,
Right.
regarding your authority.
Now, when the time comes,
With all
again,
due respect, it's one side.
Where are they at?
when the time comes,
Where are they at?
no, we're not taking comments. When the time comes and we have the opportunity to discuss it. Okay.
Resolution number 2013-274. A resolution providing for a meeting not open to the public in accordance with the provision of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10-4-12. Discussing police litigation, Stanko versus Lower, personnel issues, and school litigation.
Do I have a motion to go into closed session?
No. No. Not at all. No.
Remember them at election time, people. Remember all of them at election time.
Yep.
You don't want to hear us, the taxpayers, we're going to election. We get up there, we take them down.
Nobody? Okay, then we're not going into closed session. You're in charge here, Chuck. You listen to what they tell me how you want to run it.
There you go.
Go ahead.
Well, since there's only one side here, I would ask that you make your presentation to the point. Well, listen, we can't discuss it. You understand the other side.
In the interest of time, could we have a representative of the
Public hearing.
No, you have a representative here, I believe, and that's the person who I think should do the speaking. Can we at least agree on that? Okay. Okay, good, because obviously you're here representing these folks, and if you want to make a presentation, make it, and we'll listen to it, but I would really prefer that the other side be here. And although you obviously are very opposed in your way of thinking on this issue, if you were the other side, you'd want to be here too.
Excuse me, whoever's going to do the presentation, ma'am, are you prepared to speak?
I am.
Would you please speak,
I am,
please?
Mayor. And my name is Michelle Douglas, and as you know, I represent 5 individual employees from the Municipal Utilities Authority. And for the record, the Municipal Utilities Authority was on notice that we were going to attend the meeting, so they had every right and every opportunity to be here tonight. In short, we are asking for the board, the council members, to examine the activities of what is going on in the and at the Municipal Utilities Authority before the situation gets out of hand. One of the council members mentioned the JIF, that's the Joint Insurance Fund, and an interest in saving insurance premiums. This is an opportunity to do so before the matter gets far out of hand, before more employees are terminated from employment. This case involves a whistleblowing activity. Of course there are two sides. We are asking you, the mayor, the council members, and Mr. Sandman, if need be, or any other designated legal authority, to examine the facts, examine one audio tape of many, of which we have, and then it is your job to determine whether or not Mr. Matt Eckert continues as the executive director. The council members, Lower Township, delegates its authority to the Municipal Utilities Authority. It is a government agency that was created by Lower Township. We would like the board to examine the activities before the matter results in civil litigation. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Now, do you have a motion to go into closed session?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Neville?
Yes.
Councilmember Henderson?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Beck?
Yes.